So yeah, that able to change off and that is normally high. Now as you can see, I've got to do remove these M10 drive. So anyway, let's get it assembled. Well, how are we all, you handsome people? We've got a 2015 Ford Kuga 2-litre TDCi in, which is having a timing belt. Now, this car's only done about 40,000 miles, but it is coming up to 10 years old, and the customer wants it replaced. Now, before we go getting involved in this vehicle, I just want to thank everybody that came up to me in the show up in Harrogate and said hello and took pictures of one thing and another. It's just been such, you know, there's nothing better than getting involved with people. It's all right making videos and people watching you, but actually seeing people and meeting them, so overwhelming. But anyway, let's get involved in this car. First thing that we're going to do, because the timing belt is tucked down here, we need to remove all this scuttle panel off. Now, to remove this scuttle panel, remove the plastic clips over the wiper arms, and there's 215mm that we need to remove, and then we need to come underneath. There's some little clips. Be careful when you're picking them off because they can fly and they can disappear. Gone forever clips. And we can get some 2T20s, I think they are. Remove this brake fluid reservoir and it'll all pull off. Right, now with all that plastic removed, what I like to do with the wiper arms is keep them on the specific side of the vehicle rather than just put them together and put them on one side. And again with the plastics, keep them all nice and neat out of the way so you're not going to stand on them and snap them. Now, look how much roomaroonie we've got now. We've come across, we've disconnected the battery just there on the chassis. Now what I'm going to do is just back the coolant cap off. We're going to take it up in the air, get all the under trays off the wheel and drain the coolant out of it. Now we've got the vehicle up in the air, fully raised. We've removed the wheel, the inner wheel arch, all the under trays. Now what I'm going to do, see it's going up and down, up and down, up and down with a ramp. We're going to just get this crank locked up, and how it is just up there with some of these timing pins, like so. Now what I need to do is get on my little ratchet. Now I have pretty much set it up, but I just want to show you with my little camera. See that little hole there? That is where it lines up, and then you can grab your tool, and that now will slot in there and lock that crank up. Now before we drop that vehicle back down, what we're going to do is remove the alternator belt with a 15mm on the tensioner. Take a tension off like that and get the belt off. We've removed the crankshaft sensor plug, and there's a few little wiring loom clips up the top here which I've removed with this long tool. These are absolutely brilliant by Snap-on. And there is a 10mm by there that we just need to undo. Now when we drop it down, we can take that timing cover off. Right, now we have this vehicle back down to working height, we need to go ahead, remove the 215s and the 318s off the engine mount, put them to one side nice and tidy. Keep everything tidy. Now I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but this is a plastic sump, and as you can see I've just gone on the corner of it with a block of wood. Be extra careful because you don't want that plastic sump cracking. Now with all that out the way, we can go ahead and remove the final two 10mm out of the timing cover. We can just wiggle that out past the fuel lines. Beautiful. Right, let's get down to business. Now this camshaft pulley, it has got a hole in it which lines in to the cylinder head, and you do need a little timing pin for it, and it should, if you've done everything right and timed the engine up, that should just twist in nice and easily, like so. Right, now when you're doing these, there is no harm whatsoever in getting yourself a little marker pen and putting yourself some reference lines like I have done there on the camshaft pulley, on the rocker cover, and the crank pulley down there on the timing cover with a little bit of a yellow line. And what we need to do is go ahead and do this 13mm on the tensioner, pull the belt off, and then we can send the vehicle up and get the crank bolt out. Now how I'm going to be supporting this engine when I'm taking it, because I get arsed all the time, is a block of wood just underneath the drive shaft, and that'll support that engine while you take it up in the air. Right, well I've gone ahead now and I've removed the crankshaft pulley which is there. Now once you get that off, just be extra careful with this crankshaft sensor, because the amount of people who put timing belts on these and say, oh I can't start it after, because these are that sensitive. If you knock them, bang them, twist them, they're going to be faulty. And also with this reluctor ring as well, please be careful. If you can, don't use a screwdriver or anything in it, because if you bend it, twist it, or damaging that magnetic strip, this vehicle ain't going to start either. Just plonk it out the way, nice and safe. Now I have gone ahead and removed the 210s out the timing cover. We'll pull out like so. Now after all that's out of the way, we can then remove our timing belt. It falls off. Now it is in relatively good condition, I don't know if you can see. Got no cracks or anything, but you can never tell. A belt can fail at any time. Now we all know by now that I absolutely hate mess. So we need to remove our water pump, but to do that, get ourselves our lovely little receptacle. Undo all the 11 mils around the water pump and let that coolant drain. Now while I'm waiting for that coolant to drain into my lovely little receptacle, we're going to unbox the timing belt kit, and my preferred kit is a Schaeffler INA. I will only fit these. In the box we get a brand new water pump, that's to one side. We get a gasket. Now I'm going to tell you now, please, please, please do not use silicone on these gaskets. Just don't, because it'll avoid warranty, all sorts. We've got a brand new tensioner, idler, crank bolt, and in there somewhere is a nice little sticker to go on the bonnet to say that we have carried out this job. Now before we go ahead and fit the brand new water pump, what we need to do is clean that fascia on the block. With it being an aluminium block, you don't want nothing too abrasive, and I always opt for a little bit of 3M Scotch pad, and make sure that that face is absolutely spotless. Now I've gone ahead and torqued that water pump up using my little quarter ratchet. Everything that I use, majority of it, is all in my link tree in my bio if you want to go and see it. Now one of the common questions that I do get asked quite a lot of, what information am I using for all my torque settings and stuff, and what I use is also data, and it is a monthly subscription. It is not free, you have to subscribe to it. Now before we put that belt back on, we're going to give everything a nice clean down with a little bit of brake and clutch cleaner, because you don't want any of that coolant contaminating that new rubber belt. Let's go ahead now and get this idler pulley on, which is located behind the engine mount, and we can do that from the bottom. We can just slide it up, we'll go into place, and we can get that bolt started and torqued up to spec. Right, let's go ahead now and put the timing belt on. I've already put it on the bottom. I've got a little horseshoe clip, spring clip, that keeps that belt. Now all we've got to do is drop the car down. Now I'm back at the top, I've routed the belt. Now we need to get the tension on the belt itself. Now the tension, it is hard for you to see. There's a little arrow that comes and lines up like so. I can try and mount my camera somewhere just to try and show you. A little bit like that. We get our torque wrench ready. Now as I'm pulling it, you should see the little arrow moving. There we go, it's just started moving. We've got to get it lined up. Now that is pretty much perfect. We get our torque wrench now. Keep checking the marker. All the time, whenever you're tightening them up, keep checking the marker. And they are 25 newton meters. Perfect. Move our Allen key. Like that. Right, now we've put the vehicle back up in the air, we've put the crank pulley back on, we've removed the timing pin out of the flywheel there. Now this crank bolt is 70 newton meters and then 110 degrees. Now I'm going to just put the alternator belt back on, and then we can go back up the top and pull the pins. Right, let's go ahead now and 22 mil on the crankshaft bolt. I'm just going to mount my camera. Can I mount it somewhere so you can all see? That thing? I don't know. Right, that'll do I think. I'm going to pull this pin out, like so. I'm going to get on the crank now and turn this over and make sure that all our reference marks are lining up. And if anything goes locked hard, you know you've done something wrong. That's one turn of the crank. coming back around now. You'll see the mark coming up. And there we go. Everything now is lined up absolutely perfect. Right, well I have gone ahead now and put this vehicle probably about 90% back together. I didn't want to bore you with all the plastics, and it's quite a boring job anyway. But anyway, I'm just about to put some coolant in the system, but we're going to be using my vacuum and refill. It's absolutely game changer, these are, if you're doing stuff like this all day long. Comes a complete kit, and again, it is in my link tree. And while that's holding my vacuum, I'm going to go over there now to my ginger apprentice Ben, and we're going to be taking some lock and wheel nuts off a little mini one. Right, well I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit knackered after taking them lock and wheel nuts out. Right, this has been on the vac for about 5-10 minutes. All I've got to do now is get the correct coolant for the vehicle, flick a switch, and then that'll fill that coolant system. Simple, so simple to use. And that is it. Beautiful. Now after we finish topping the coolant up, what we're going to do before we put all these trims back on, we're going to get in the car and make sure it starts. I'm just going to pop my camera up there. Can you see it? Yeah, right, let's give it a big start. Absolutely perfect. Now while I'm waiting for this engine now to get up to temperature and for the water to start circulating properly, we're going to go ahead and put all this scuttle panel back on. And there we have it, all that trim now is back together. And one thing that the customer has asked me to do is have a little look and check his brake fluid for him, because he can't remember the last time that it's been done. So we're going to give it a try now. That is really bad. So what we're going to do is not only do his timing belt, we're going to give it a brake fluid change at the same time. Right, well I'm going to do this brake fluid change very quickly for you. Now what we're going to be using is a Launch Pro brake one, which is absolutely insane. Switch it on, flick that switch to suction. Okay, little suction pipe, and we're going to get as much old brake fluid out of there as possible. Now even though it looks clean, the water content is very high on it, so it's all got to come out. Now whenever you're using brake fluid, be careful with it, because you don't want to be getting it on paintwork or bodywork, so please use a little bit of protection. Now once that reservoir is empty, we put our cap on. Now there's two adapters, one going straight up and one coming 90 degrees, and the reason why I'm using the 90 degrees is because I can take that vehicle up in the air and it's not kinking the pipe, if you get me. Now once that's all connected, we're going to jump around now, switch our pressure up, flick on to start, hold it for a few seconds. Once it gets to 1 bar, it'll go click and it'll automatically take over, and we need to adjust that now up to 2 bar, and at that time it is filling the reservoir as well. So we get this adjusted now right up to 2 bar, which is absolutely perfect. We can get the vehicle up in the air now and slacken all the bleed nipples off. Now with the machine running at 2 bar pressure now and you've got the vehicle up in the air, get your extraction bottle, get on your 10mm, open your nipple, and that fluid will come through beautifully. Now I'm not going to bore you doing all the 4 corners, but what you need to do on your little bottle, some are measured, some aren't, but you need to split it into 4. Probably about 150 to 200mm out of each corner is going to be perfect. And there we have, that car now is all back together and it is running absolutely perfect with a fresh brake fluid change. Now I'm going to take all my lights, take the bonnet prop off, make sure that the driver's side wheel is torqued up, and we're going to take it down the road and make sure it is okay. Now anyway, I don't know what, I think it's going to be a bit of a timing week this week. I've got another wet belt that's coming in after this one now on a Focus. I might do a video on it, yeah, might not. And I got a little timing chain on a little something, I don't know. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video and we'll see you on the next one. Let's get it sent.